Okay, so here is our seventh episode where we are recording, and the overall purpose is just to guide you some of the ideas related to your interview as a project manager, Scrum Master. I was little bit surprised to see the position of the Scrum Master which was shared in our WhatsApp group, and I clicked on it and I saw a lot of details, just a collection of tools, Microsoft Project till Jira and CI/CD and everything. Then I did little research about that particular person who has posted that particular vacancy, and it was just an HR consultant. So I think we need to be a little careful about not to feel too bad about some of the random vacancies which are floated on LinkedIn, because many of them are just floated by HR consultants who might be not even having an idea what they are trying to communicate, and maybe they are just collecting CVs and profiles for some other purpose. So I don't know. So we need to be a little careful about the type of vacancies we see. Yeah. That was just a sharing. I just did it before we started the call, so I thought, why don't I talk about it? Yes. So process is simple. If you have any query, put it in the chat. If you want to talk about something, you can just unmute and start speaking. Yeah, that's how we do. Good. Even I'm not prepared any specific topic this time for myself as well. So looks like this is little bit quiet call. Let's see if we get some queries we discuss, else we close the call sooner than 1 hour, maybe.
Chandra.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, just one. If nobody is asking the question, so probably I can ask a question, Saket. So my concern is that, like I discussed with you earlier as well, that I am working as a individual contributor, and now I want to move from business analyst role to a product owner, or and gradually to PM role. So in January, I have given my PSPO certification, and now I'm doing my POPM certification as well with SAFE, right? So my concern is, like, so I am from the financial domain, right? But I don't want to pursue in the financial domain. The reason is that the financial domain is like a black hole. It's lot of things that we have to be updated, and like the routine that I am in, I won't get much of the time to get all the information related to finance. So I want to move from a particular domain kind of knowledge to a general PM or something like that role. So will it be possible for me to move at this stage when I have a 16 years of experience in IT industry? Or how can I proceed? Or what is your suggestion, that what should I do next?
So say, uh, what I am understanding is that you have a business analysis domain related expertise, but you see that continuing in a domain related expertise or business analysis is becoming challenging, and you want to get into a role where it is more about people, process, integration, collaboration, handling delivery dependency, and you want to do that so that you can do it without contributing yourself as a contributor. That is my reading.
Right, right.
If that reading is right, then yes, you should move towards project management, program management space, because with a 16-year plus experience, the Scrum Master may be too small for you. Yeah, because people may not hire. Nowadays, they ask 10-year, less than 10 years experienced Scrum Master they want. Project manager may be okay till 15 years, but since you are crossing 15 years as well, then you need to go project to program management as well. So, because as the experience count increases, the role challenges starts increasing rather than decreasing nowadays. So, I think there is probably between 7 to 15, it is still okay, but as we start growing beyond, it becomes more and more challenging. So you should try fast to get into project and then quickly get into program management space. That is something I can say. Yes, if you want to remain in a business analysis space, in my reading is that you should be, you will get rewarded, especially with the size of experience based on your domain knowledge only. Not necessary that you understand what is user story, what is product backlog, whatever you learn in a CSM, CSPO, or POPM. These are very basics. Yeah, these are something ABC of doing work. Now you need to do the work rather than just focusing on ABC of doing the work. ABC means what kind of meetings you attend, what kind of terminology you use, what kind of artifact you create. But ultimately, the real customer interaction, real artifact, real working is something which requires expertise in that particular area. So with the more experience, people look for that area rather than just knowing that, do you know this is called feature or this is called user story. That might be a good for someone either who is just want to learn these jargon so that they can continue doing what they are doing, or someone is at an entry level for that particular role. Yeah, so my take is focus on project management and program management in future. Yeah,
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Saket. Thank you so much.
people can thumbs up and the chat questions. So can you explain the end to end of your project with data? So this question is a very good question, but can only be answered by an individual if they think about this question in advance. Yeah, so that is something you need to answer based on your job description as well as the profile project description you have used. So for example, if I go for an interview and someone asks me, tell me the end to end process of running a project. Now I need to make sure I talk about the project which is there in my profile. The project could be waterfall project could be hybrid project could be agile based project could be for my own company, project could be for the client companies. So there is no generic flow. Yes, there is a waterfall type of understanding that we collect the requirement and then we deliver it, and we have a design development in between. But that generic explanation will not be enough. You need to give a specific explanation. So as we have a video made that how to explain project in your organization, yeah, in your interview, I have a video where I talk about that you need to distribute your project experience against the outcome you have produced, the processes you use, the how distributed your team were, and what kind of tools and techniques you use in order to deliver it. So use those ideas to frame the right description in your interview, and make sure that you are ready for follow-up questions. And those follow-up questions should be matching with what you have written in your profile rather than we are trying to make answer on the fly. Yeah. So this is something I am commenting based on the question we got. Can you explain end to end of the project with some data? In one of the interview, one of the participants speaking about it. Yeah. So I pause here. Anyone want to contribute to this question and help us in giving advice, or maybe share a sample answer, that how do you explain if you get a question that explain your project end to end with the data and facts? What would be the possible answer? Someone wants to try it out.
Yeah.
If
Uh, yeah, I had asked that question. In fact, I've given more details about that question. It was a very tough question that that person had asked me. In fact, I did not have that in-depth proper experience. But on the spot, he asked me, and then he told me, I want numbers. Can you please understand? I want data. This is how strict he was when I was just giving some general thing. And then he told, so first, when the requirements just came and when you started the project, what happened? Did you get the right skills? How did you get the right skills? And how did you do the project estimation? He asked. And then initially, we can't do the velocity, right? Because it's the initial stage. So in that case, how did you do the velocity? And then going forward after a few sprints, say like 6 months, what was the velocity? Give me numbers. This is what he told me. And then in fact, in between, when you faced some sort of challenges, how did you overcome that? So I want everything in data. And that's what he told me. And it was very difficult for me.
so, see, this should be first not difficult. Yeah. Why? Because you are just talking about your project. You, if someone asks you, tell me the start date and end date of your project, is it a difficult question? Yeah, tell me that how many stories were there in your project. Yeah.
He asked me this question, how many stories?
Yeah. So most maybe not as a number, but is it a difficult question? If someone asked me how many items were there in your product backlog?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's a simple thing. I will say, oh, in this particular product, we had these many product backlog items around, yeah, around 100 to 120, 100. That's a straightforward question. Now, problem is, if this question looks difficult, it means I have not seen my product backlog. I don't have an idea. I don't have an idea of my start date or end date of my project. So, try to understand what interviewer is trying to do. They are not trusting your experience given in the profile, and they want to give little interrogation to really see that is your data is real or you have just cooked up. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is my sense. So if you are cooking up, then also you need to cook up well. Yeah, you need to know all these answers. You need to know that, okay, whenever if I am writing a particular profile, now you may say I had a 150 items. He will say which project you are talking about. This one, okay, 150 items. What kind of categorization you will say? Approximately how many stories, how many technical work, how many defects, how many epics. Yeah, so all of them looks difficult if it is something I am cooking, looks very easy if I am doing that project on a regular. If I have spent that 6 months in that particular project, especially as a scrum master or a project manager, I know I keep looking at my Jira board all the time. I know what was there. I have a various diagrams, cumulative flow diagram and all. They can tell me the whole information. So my advice is, if you have not been to that exposure, whatever project you are mentioning, you need to have a clarity about it. That, okay, how many iterations we executed in that particular project? What was our average velocity? What is our velocity of the last iteration? Now, if someone asks me, what was your current velocity, like previous velocity iteration, which is just finished last week? Now it's a simple question. Someone is asking me that what was my previous week's iteration velocity. I just give a number. Yeah. Now, if I have not thought about it, then this number could be a disastrous number. Then the person may ask, okay, if this is it, then based on this velocity, how long you will take to finish your release? And that could be a question. Is your release is as per the roadmap or not as per the roadmap? So making the story short, think about your project description. That's it. Yeah. You need to think about the whole description. Now, again, how do you know your velocity? Velocity has nothing to do with the project. Velocity has more to do with your team. So now your story should be clear. Is, do you have a stable teams where team move from one project to another project? Then you don't have an issue related to velocity. You know this team has this velocity. Simple. But if you have a team which is getting formed as the project is getting formed, then you may have a challenge. You may not have a prediction of the velocity. So in my project description, I am talking about a stable team, or I am talking about the teams getting formed as we are initiating the project. So we need to be very clear. Now, if I am forming the team as project is getting initiated, does it really matter? I need to do a velocity forecast. Now, it depends upon the contract. If my company has done a time and material contract, then I don't have to worry. I says we were having time and material contract. Product owner told us to do something. We had a rough order of magnitude estimate which saying this project may take 6 months. But then product owner had the roadmap and they were doing continuous monitoring and continuous engagement with us in the iterations. So initial few iterations we worked as per the roadmap, and after doing 3-4 iterations we improved the roadmap by doing release planning. Now this is a possible answer, but it depends upon our description given in the profile. I can't just give an answer randomly. But if the project contract was something like a fixed price, then it doesn't matter. I do a velocity based estimate or I do anything else. It matters is that we need to really have a fair understanding of how much time it will take and when we can deliver it. Yeah, irrespective of the type of life cycle we use. Yeah, tell me, what do you think about this conversation?
Yeah, it was really like, I got a lot of insights. Whatever you were talking, those things he asked me, like the epics and, when can you think were you able to plan the release based on that? And whatever you were talking about, the same thing, the number of iterations. Can you tell me how many iterations you had within 6 months? All these questions he asked me, and on the spot, actually, I was just blank.
So maybe he was suspicious about your profile detail. That's why probably he has asked it. So next time onwards, whatever project description you have made in your profile, You need to be very clear about that particular story. You need to have little detailed understanding so that if someone is checking in this particular manner, I should be able to answer it. Yeah. So that's the important deep dive. There is no ready-made answer. We cannot say that tell we had 100 backlog items or 20 backlog items and your velocity was 20. Difficult to do that, but you probably need to have that clarity as per a given project profile, and then you should be able to do it. Yeah.
That is
Great.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else want to add here? Maybe, yeah, to this particular conversation before we go to the next query. Open for feedback. The whole idea of this community is that people also share their ideas, not me only talking. Yeah, someone.
Yeah, hi Saket, this is
Please,
Sudhir
please.
here.
Go ahead. Yeah.
This is my first time I joined this call, and it's looking quite very interesting to me. So I'm working from last 2 years as a product manager as well as project manager too, because in my company they have their own product as well as some client project also. Recently, I just tried to research my job with some other company. So I just had a conversation with interviewer, and he asked like when you believe that your product is ready to go live. So that was a question like where I feel that something I have to know more about it. Like as a product manager, I know like I'm doing that things like when our product is meet our goal, what is decided. So and all the check QA things has been completed. Like all the part has been tested properly by the QA and the client, whatever who is stakeholder involved. Then as a product manager, I make it live by creating release notes and other things. Okay, but when that interviewer asked me that question, so I got like I no, I think something is wrong. I think I have to like read more about it. So, what is your take on it? Like, I was onto the right side, or still I have to like revise my answer for that?
So say better give an answer based on your current product. Yeah, there is no generic need. You can say in this product we follow this process. That's a good way of explaining it. So
Okay.
if we rephrase the question, it is asking me that you are a product leader. Yeah, let's use a generic word. And you are expected to prioritize the backlog. You are also expected to review the iterations. What is your criteria to make a business release? That's a question. Now, in some organizations, we have a stable product, so we may make incremental release. So as soon as
Correct.
feature is ready, you may make an incremental release. That's a possible in some organizations. In another organization, especially when you have an early stage product, you may have a business goal, and based on the business goal, you accumulate some set of features, and the definition of done and quality is definitely an important element, but that is anyway we assume that will be taken care. But when we see that this particular business goal is achieved, then we make the release. Yeah, that's the another thing. Now, if we talk about more economical manner, usually we talk about that we should be making as early as possible release. We need to just see what is a cost of releasing and what is the cost of not releasing. If we have an important feature, we want to make a release. But if we have a lot of overhead associated with the release, like you may have a device-based release, it is not a software as a service, then you probably need to club some items together, go do a compliance check, and then make a release. Yeah. So looking at your product, the maturity of the product, it's the early stage or later stage, and the type of environment it is, software as a service or an app or B2C or B2B application. So all may have a little different things. For example, Google may have a Gmail, they might be releasing every other minute, but they also have an Android, they might be releasing every other month. Yeah, not every other minute. So same company, but they have a different release cycle because of the overhead attached, as well as the inconvenience attached to the user. If we get every other hour an update for Android, we will get irritated as a user. But if the every other hour Gmail is getting updated, we don't even know it is getting updated. So a cost or the inconvenience caused to the user as well as the benefit received by the user, that has to be matched. So benefit to the user, benefit to the business, and based on that I find out my release window. So that way we can probably answer our ideas. Yeah. In a way, we focus on as a principle as early as possible, as frequent as possible, as automated as possible, because we know that real validation only happens when the things goes to customer's hand. We might do internal testing, we may do demo, we may do a stakeholder sign off. All these things are good at a one level, but when the real customer starts using it, we really know is it making sense or not.
Okay. So as I understand, can I explain you like what
Yeah, please.
I understood about your explanation? So basically, if that product is on MVP kind of phase, so as early as possible we can make release. And if the project is stable and like a lot of customer users already using that, so we have to like see the delivery actually that we are going to push, what it impact and what kind of outcome they will get by this release.
Perfect. Yeah, yeah. They will
Okay.
get, and in return, your company will get. Yeah. So say they
Right.
are also getting some benefits, and you may also get a benefit of customer satisfaction and what, and many people joining in
Right.
that kind of things.
Like although following the compliance, although following the business
Yeah.
rule ready of definition of done and all the steps that has include regarding to the QA. After
Perfect.
that, we can release our product.
Perfect, perfect, perfect,
Okay.
perfect. Yeah. So say I may
Thank
have
you.
a one feature ready, but I will say
Mhm.
not to disturb by to users to give this feature because this is not a value adding feature and it has a learning curve. So I want to wait for another feature so that learning curve get reduced, and I want to introduce these two things in a one go. Yeah, that could be a
Right.
chance. Yeah, because
Okay.
there will be a little irritation for the new thing. At the same time, if this feature is solving some of my customers' problem and they have been waiting for it for a while, and I believe this can create a better value than the uncomfort it will cause for the release, I will go for it. So
Okay.
in general, I'm comparing what is the cost of releasing and what is the cost of not releasing or a risk of not releasing. So not releasing is
Actually,
also losing some money, releasing is also losing some money.
Saket, I want to add more thing. Like first of all, we have to like target of geolocation and users also. In term of like if you are releasing any mobile application and the location is where most of the user are using iOS device. So first we have to target the release
Perfect.
iOS device, and if the location that is Android user and the geolocation is where most of the user are using
Yeah.
like Android, so then we can go for the iOS device, Android device,
Yeah.
right?
So you may have a stages, you may have a community of the user who are
Correct,
desperately
correct, correct.
looking for. So this answer has to be made as per the description of the product you have made in your CV. So we can say, okay, this is how we do it because it could be many dimensional. You can say there are many parameters which plays a role in order to decide a release cycle. But in my product, this was the situation, this is the case, and this is how we make a decision, and this is the management involvement, and this is how we decide releasability of our product.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Question related to the link of the project, I will share in our WhatsApp group. That's a question which we got. The links, yeah, WhatsApp group is a good place to continue talking. Another question is coming. I have a career break, 2 years. Is it possible to get the call from the recruiter? How difficult it is to get the job after 2 year breaks? Uh, Development manager, not getting much calls. Total experience 19 years. Yeah. So see, the problem is more related to number of years nowadays. Yeah. So if you go for higher experience level, then you need
Right.
to put little more effort to get the job nowadays. Yeah, that's the thing. And say usually once you cross 15 years, you should also change, my opinion. Again, you can test. Yeah, there is no universal truth, but I personally believe the person who has a 5 years experience, he search a job in a particular manner. The person who has a 10-year experience, he's also searching a job. The person who has a 15-year experience is also and 20-year experience also. Now, these people should be searching job. Maybe some ideas may remain same, but there are some differences as well. So when I start crossing the 15-year experience range, the networking, social profile, my community contribution, those things starts making little differentiating factor. Because just applying using my profile may work till 10 years, maybe 10 years plus kind of nearby may work. But if I'm a 20 years experienced guy and I'm applying using profile, probably it may not be that much effective. Second thing is, if I apply via using profile, it may get just compiled with the people who are also applying who has a 10 years experience. So definitely you can crack it. You need to find your differentiator. You need to find out that what value I bring in. Need to keep updating yourself, align yourself, what kind of target job you have. So if I have this particular target job, I study the characteristics written in that target job. If it asks for particular set of skills, I make sure those skills are pretty visible in my profile. Along with my profile, I make my LinkedIn profile also strong. I just don't rely on my CV alone. And I make sure that my LinkedIn profile and CV are talking about the same thing. I try to reconnect with my network. I try to remain visible on LinkedIn so that my network who has worked with me in last 20 years, they know that I am looking and I am active here. So all these things will need it in order to start cracking or getting some calls for the conversation. Yeah, that is what I believe. But if anyone has an idea, please share it here. Yeah. Yeah. If a follow-up query or comment, the person who has put the question can also maybe contribute further. Yeah.
Hi, Saket.
Yeah.
Hi, Saket. No, not related to this, but I wanted help in like I'm working currently. I'm working on a project. It's a startup. They have three stages of a product. One product is live. Okay, over there they're getting this production tickets and all. That they are working in sprint level. Okay, now they are this the second part of the product they want to work on, but it is in pipeline. It is not even a minimum viable product yet. They are working on the roadmap of it. Now they want to adopt agile. They're working putting these production tickets into sprint. Now my challenge is, first I have to convince everybody to go ahead and start adopting to the sprint. They are not able to monitor all the it's just they are following that they are putting tickets in sprint and working on it. They're not following like burn downs or what I have committed I should complete. There is no estimation being done or nothing. Like, how do I start off with in such situation?
So probably you need to focus on, yeah, again, things may vary, but if you have joined an organization and you see that they want to achieve some goal, but process is little chaotic, how do I move forward? Yeah, that seems to be a question. Or in a
Yes.
way, that could be an interview question also. Somebody says, you join a team, how do you move forward? So in
Yes.
general, I should start with learning what they are doing and what kind of dissatisfaction and problem they are facing right now. So rather than saying that, guys, you need to do a sprint planning and you need to do a burn down chart and you need to put everything in Jira and you need to do this, yeah, that may look little prescription to many of the people. Rather than doing that, we probably need to ask, what is your problem? What are you facing right now? So problem could be we have too much work and we don't know what we can do and what we cannot. Or somebody will say, oh, we have too many priority chains. Sometimes they say do this, then next morning they say do this, and at the end of I end up doing nothing. Yeah. So okay, that is coming as. So we need to find out and list down the problem. You may call it a retrospective meeting. You may say, let's do a brainstorming to improve our processes. So once we have issues listed, then you say, okay, how do we solve them? Now, one of the possible thing is we may start doing sprinting. Then we need to agree that, okay, we will do a planning for only for 2 weeks, probably to start with, and see that what we have achieved and what we have not achieved. And this is how we will move forward. And we will talk to the stakeholder not to disturb us during 2 weeks. And this is how we probably will be creating a stable work environment. So my advice is start with the problem rather than the process. Yeah. So problem and process should be a solution of the problem rather than I don't care about your problem. You use this process and your problems will be solved. Yeah, so that may be not convincing for many people. Yeah, so that's something we can probably do.
Yeah. like today when I was having a discussion, they said that you have to set up a process, you have to define the DOD, and for DOD you work with the testers and get the test cases. Once the test cases are ready, we can go ahead and prepare the DOD. Okay, it is like completely setting up the process, like the business case, the business requirement, defining the features, everything. But the development team is not ready to go ahead and take.
So you need to work together. Yeah. So the rather than you pushing the process, you are solving the problem of a development team. So because if I'm a developer, I may see that this person wants to make me do some extra work which I don't want to do. I'm already having so much work to do, and they want me to put one more ticket here, ticket there, and they want to monitor me further, and further they want to ask me 10 status reports. So I'm not liking that. Yeah. So rather than I feel like that, I better focus on what benefit I will get. Yeah, that's an important thing. But in case you have some areas where they will not get any benefit, the benefit will only go to the management, then you need to make sure that management really talk about why it is important, because they may not listen to you. So you need to make sure that management present their perspective of the importance, and that way you move forward. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. So we have a question, I have I want to inquire about project management certification for the current trend. So far, I have obtained PMP, SSM, POPM, CSM certification. I am currently working as a Scrum Master, but I planning to transition into project management. I think these are so many. You already have done too many. Yeah, you don't need any other certificate. So we do all, yeah, we do PMI, ACP, we do PGMP and many other things. But for getting into project management role, you have more than what is needed. Yeah. So having PMP itself is enough for a project management role. Having PMP plus CSM is more than enough. Yeah, and I'm sure when you look for job vacancies, you will not find anything other than this. Yeah, maybe. And even if that is mentioned, it may be not that much important. Yeah. Go ahead, Abhishek. Yeah.
Yeah, so Saket, just two quick questions. First of all, like I think so that should be more fruitful and aligned towards the interview questions related to PM. And the second one is like I am also working as a SM. So I in total have 9+ years of experience with properly focused 5+ years with Agile and as a Scrum Master. Earlier, I was working as a project associate. So currently I'm working with Aero Industries. So what I need now, like it's a kind of phase right now. I'm thinking to just take a hard and fast decision for my career. So like, what should be the best move? Like to move ahead as a agile practitioner, as a PM, or as a senior Scrum Master? Like there are three different roles I have targeted.
My advice is focus on becoming delivery leader. These title of a scrum master, senior scrum master, project manager may used interchangeably. You can say I want to facilitate and enable delivery. Yeah. So that's a role. Now, most likely you will see a project manager slash scrum master for that role. But
Hmm.
focus on competency rather than these titles, because organization may use different words. But we can say, okay, I'm focusing on delivery as a specialization. Yeah.
Okay. So like, what should be the very first step should I take, to go ahead in this?
So say if I am working as a scrum master and I want to strong my delivery skill, learning about project management, learning about other aspects of agile like Kanban is a good idea. Yeah. Uh, if your organization is using scaled agile framework, or if you have an experience into it, then you probably only go for safe. Yeah, that's a possibility. But strengthening the delivery skill can happen by studying project management. As a direction of a project management, you can use a PMP certification as a tool. Yeah, but actually it is just not about the certificate. It is about getting the whole understanding of what all the areas are important for getting delivery competencies. Yeah. So if you have not yet done PMP certification, then it could be a good idea. You can follow that. If you have already done it, then you can follow some of the content which you have followed in a PMP certification and make sure that your CV reflects that, and you develop competency into those areas.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Like as per my current organization, like we are working in a safe model, and I am like for my team specifically, we are as the L3 support for infrastructure side. So we are just following Kanban. So like we don't have any kind of ceremonies and all the things going on. We have everything on the ad hoc basis. We are just keeping on prioritizing it. Like this is a daily task of a thing I am just doing, right?
I
So there are challenges at the time of deliveries also. But the lead infrastructure engineer in my team, he is taking care of that delivery kind of issue. But now I am thinking like I'm not a technical guy basically to handle that infrastructure part basically.
got it. So what I'm understanding is that your role is more like operational and execution oriented, and you keep
Yeah.
getting the flow of requirement or flow of issues in your work, and you keep getting those things assigned to different people, and you are one of that guy, and you keep solving it. And if there is a someone who's prioritizing it, yeah, that's there, and that's
Yeah.
understood. But when we want to move next, I need to see about the overall working of that environment. It is not enough that I just focus on fixing my issues and taking care of L3
Hmm.
support, because I am hitting the limit, because there is no growth if in that work for a longer duration. So you try to navigate by learning project management or by learning scaled agile framework, so that probably inside the organization itself you can get an opportunity to do something other than your current L3 support. Yeah, so if you get that, then you augment your profile. And if you see that is possible with the help of SAFe, if they invite you in a PI planning meeting, if they invite you and if you are becoming a part of a PI planning process, then doing scaled agile framework and positioning yourself as a scrum master or a product owner or an active contributor in agile release train can help you in getting the desired profiles.
Yeah, I am already a part of PI, but the thing is that again, uh, like we are being at a L3, so we just are a part of a PI as a like if they have a dependency, suppose
I know
if they
there
have
is
a
like a
dependency,
shared
then
service. They are not
yeah.
involving you too much. So it's like a shared service. They give you a task, you resolve it. But if I just start trying to understand bigger than that, I can say, okay, I'm not limited to
Hmm.
what is coming to my team. I try to understand what my whole train is doing. I try to understand
Yeah,
why they
exactly.
need this particular infrastructure. I try to involve as much as possible in their demos. Yeah, and
Hmm.
I try to appreciate that, and then gradually I try to insert in other areas rather than I limiting to my area. So one of the possible thing is that you start learning about SAFe framework, so that you know how things are happening in your train. And by doing that learning, you go beyond your current boundaries, because you have to get out of your team. You need to focus on
Hmm.
other teams' work, understanding why they are putting dependency, why they identify dependency at a later stage, how can we help them in identifying dependency little early, what is the say consequence or a result of delays which are happening because of us. So try to appreciate what is happening beyond your team, and that will probably open up some ideas for you. Yeah. So learning project
Yeah, ex
management and learning scaled agile framework could be the assisting tool which will start giving you indicators. And with those indicators, you keep looking in your organization. Start, even if you are not doing it, you start observing other people's doing it. So even if you go for an interview, probably you can say, oh, we I was part of this whole happening. Maybe you are just an observer to it, but you probably start observing in a little more deeply, so sometime you can even do it. Yeah.
exactly. Like I'm just trying to do the same thing what you just right now suggested. Also, just again, just last thing, like should I go with a PMP or a safe POPM?
So SAFe is a very small investment of 2 days only. It will get done like this. Yeah. So you can anyway do the SAFe. And I do believe that you should do SAFe first to start with. Any of SAFe Scrum Master, leading SAFe or SAFe POPM, whichever you like. 60 to 70% content is same. The leading SAFe is more manager oriented. Scrum Master SAFe is more sprint events oriented. The POPM SAFe will give little bit more details about features and user story, but rest of the content more or less remains the same. So doing any SAFe certificate, yeah, depending upon the type of role you are targeting, is a good idea. If you are targeting PO kind of role, then you can do a SAFe POPM to start with. It's a 2 3 days of investment, 2 days of class, and then maybe a 3 4 hours of preparation that will get done. PMP is little bit long term investment. It will take 3 4 months, not 2 3 days. and it will make you appreciate and learn many things which are beyond safe also. So your organization might have done some customization. There could be some organization where they are not using safe. So it's a PMP is a open-ended way of working. There is no specific path. Safe is a particular way of working. This is how we do things in an organization where we use safe. So you probably learn that as a starting point, and then you invest more time in a PMP.
Yeah, but again, Saket, like if we go for a project manager kind of role, like I don't have any exposure with costing and budgeting kind of things. So
So
that would
that's
be a
what I'm
hurdle for
telling.
me.
So once we start learning, then we start observing. Yeah. So once we
Hmm.
learn the foundation, then you may start observing maybe some manager is doing in your company, how he is doing, how she is doing, what kind of reports you are producing. My ability to observation will start increasing. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Saket.
Yeah. So there is a question saying my CSM safe certification are expired. Is it still okay to mention that my resume or in a LinkedIn profile? Because in one of my interview, the panel has concern proceeding further with my interview. Even I had an experience and have an active PMP certification. Yeah. So say certification is is a criteria to show that you are committed for learning. Yeah, not necessary that each and every organization look for active certification. PMP usually people consider active is something valued because there is a process of keeping it active rather than only paying money. Safe renewal comes every 1 year. So you decide to, if you get into safe way of working, then it's great. You don't have to renew it. But if you have tried many things and still safe way of working is not coming, then you need to take a call because it's a little expensive to maintain. Yeah, that's something you get. CSM, it comes every 2 years. You have to put $100. Yeah, so I don't know. You need to take a call. Now, can I mention it in the CV? Some people put it that I have done CSM, it was valid till this year. Yeah, I have done leading safe or safe, it was valid till this year. So in a way you are very clear that you have done it, but it is not valid anymore. So sometime when the automated searching of the profiles are happening, the CV will get selected because that certificate word is there in your CV. But if someone is reading it, they also get to know that it is not active anymore. Yeah. So I would say that just have a little bit experience of some of the meetings, but 80% of the people will not renew their safe certificate. That's what we observe. But again, they may have their own reasons. So technically speaking, you should mention it that it has expired. That's what the companies wants you to put. Yeah, that's something they do. Yeah. Or you, if you don't want to say it's expired, you can say valid till. Yeah. So in a way, it is not using a word expired, but I did say if it was valid till December 2024. Yeah. So leading say valid till December 2024. That's something I can mention. Yeah.
Saket, if there are no other questions, I just wanted to add to
Please,
what Abhishek had asked.
please.
So he had mentioned options of Scrum Master and Project Manager. So how about a Program Manager? So if we are looking forward to grow, you told Delivery Manager, right? So that is still better in terms of growth when compared to a Program Manager, or how is it? And if we get into Delivery Manager, that kind of a role, do we get to explore more of, budgeting and costing and all of that? Because
So the role of a delivery manager varies significantly from organization to organization. In some organization, delivery managers are like a matrix organization. There is a still project manager, but delivery managers are technical responsible for getting things done. Yeah.
okay.
So we need to see some places they are just department head. There is a 100 people developers department, and this is a delivery manager who takes care of it, but they are allocated to the projects. Yeah.
Mhm.
So majorly the organization work in a project or a project mode or a program mode. Yeah, that's the thing. But there may be a delivery manager where roles may overlap, but the delivery manager role is expected to be a stable. Stable means that they do the similar kind of things all the time. They don't end up getting into new kind of work because project is little unstable work. You start with a one project, then you go to another project, you go to a third project. Whereas a delivery manager is that, yeah, in my department, there are 10 projects going on. There are 10 project managers, but I'm a delivery manager for this department. So engineering manager, delivery manager, that kind of profile might be there. So we need to see the org, not very structured way of working, but yeah, more or less overlapping skill, but just a project focus is not that much there. It's a overall delivery excellence, quality, those kind of focuses might be there. Program management is again a next level work, which expect you have at least multiple projects working together, maybe 100 plus people working together, and those people working together and aligning towards a common goal. That's a program management. Yeah. So usually after doing project management, as I was telling, if someone is crossing 15 years of experience, they should start thinking about getting into program management or a delivery management at that level, because project manager role may also look little uh, less compatible for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
Perfect,
Saket.
perfect. Yeah.
So
Um,
Saket,
uh,
just a follow question.
Please go ahead.
Saket, like in the I think so her name was Pallavi. Pallavi asked the question, like she is working as a senior business analyst, business lead, I think so. So she was 16 plus years, I think so. She hold a 16 plus years of experience. So like at that level, like is it easy to transit for a program manager, or it's easy to adopt as a product owner?
Both are possibles. Reason being is that there are organizations who might be looking for delivery oriented skills with a person who has a good expertise in a domain. Yeah, there is a possibility. So if I can demonstrate I have a delivery oriented skills and I sufficiently understand domain, but I don't want to grow in the domain further, there are takers for that. Yeah, there is a possibility. The another thing is that I don't want to get into a delivery oriented domain, I want to remain as a contribution oriented domain. That is also a taker. So I would say the market exists for everything, but it depends upon where I can integrate more and put my effort. Yeah, that's something we can focus on. Yeah.
Okay. And
uh,
for a Scrum Master, like what should be the domain? Like because
Scrum Master,
we are
project
supporting different.
Yeah, Scrum Master, project managers are delivery roles. They are not domain roles. But we need to understand that title Scrum Master is a one thing, and role of a Scrum Master in a particular organization is another thing. So, as a person called Scrum Master, I might be doing some amount of delivery management, domain related work. I might be doing business analysis. So I would say, as my role, I do business analysis and delivery responsibility, and I have a good understanding of that domain. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Buka.
Hi, this is Bukola
Go ahead,
here.
Bukula. Yeah.
Yes, I just want to understand what do you mean by contribution? Is it contribution delivery? I mean, or like let me just say, what's the difference between is it individual contributor and delivery related domain? I mean,
Okay, let me
I'm
try.
just trying to understand,
Let me
or I
just,
can rephrase this question another way
so
that
let me
who is
rephrase
an
your question.
individual contributor? Because
Okay.
I'm having this challenge, like and I just want to know, is it possible to just not be working in any particular domain? I'm thinking like some people will always ask, what is your domain? Are you in finance? Are you in mortgage? Can one just be a business analyst or project manager without having any specific
Okay.
domain?
So it's like this. First thing is there are two type of questions seems to be mixing here. One question which you are asking is that so WhatsApp group link I just pasted. I think please see that. That's the message which I sent. Yeah. Okay, so I bring the question and understanding back. There are the two areas which I am learning. One is the what is the difference between individual contributor and leadership role? That's one thing. Second thing, even if I'm going in a leadership role, do I need to have a domain or area level understanding? Yeah. Does this interpret your questions right? Yeah. So these are the two things you are exploring, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
if individual contributor or leadership, and then if you're going in a leadership role, do you need the area of expertise,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay, uh-huh.
yeah. Perfect. So
Yes,
say
correct.
uh, Individual and leadership is little simple. We know that individual contributor is the one who produce his own results. I write something, I do something which is directly coming as an output of my work. Whereas a leadership role is I make people collaborate, integrate, and ensure collectively they produce result. So leadership roles are enabler role, they are not doer role. The contributor roles are doer role. So I do myself think, yeah, and I get things done. That's a doer role. I make people collaborate and integrate, leadership role. We probably get that. Now, in a leadership role, do I need to know the domain also? Do I need to have an expertise also? Now, it depends upon organization perspective. Sometimes people believe, why don't a leader can also do something? Yeah, rather than leader only enables, we probably can get something work done from him. Yeah. So if organization has that perspective, they will say, you are a project leader, but you can also do a business analysis. You are a scrum master. Why don't you do a business analysis also? So I may have a little extra competency needed. Yeah. So there is a possibility. Now, when it comes to business analysis also, do you know
Yeah.
how business analysis is done in financial sector? Yeah. Or do you know how business analysis is done in a travel domain? That becomes a further a bifurcation. So say business analysis also has a two element. One element of business analysis is ability to understand user wish, user needs, and ability to convert that user wish and needs into something which my delivery team, development team can understand. Sometimes you call it system analysis, sometimes you call it business analysis. You convert the requirement into system requirement. Yeah, that's a one type of need. The another type of need is I myself will tell what should be the need. I am more expert than the user who are giving me the feedback. I probably can ask the right question, and probably I can even challenge the users that you are giving a wrong requirement. This is not what it is. I understand the subject more deeper. Now, that also depends upon organization to organization. Most of the organization will have a subject matter experts. They will have a mortgage experts. They will have expert related to compliances. They might have studied that factor far, far more than anyone. But when they have a choice, if they are recruiting someone and if they have a business analyst available with their domain exposure as well, they feel that let's go with this guy because this guy will understand our language faster. He will be able to capture the requirement faster. Maybe he's not expert in that area, but he understands us. Yeah. So that way, in some organization, they will prefer to have people who can speak their language because you can get onboarded faster. So it depends. Yeah. So
Okay, but
yeah.
what if somebody that doesn't have that, coming from an IT background, a business analyst that is coming from an IT background, how do we
Yeah.
like navigate that
Navigate.
challenge?
So the whole idea is I need to see my strength, weakness, opportunities, threats. I need to do my individual SWOT analysis. I may not be able to do everything what is asked in the market, but I can understand where I have little story, where I have an experience, and maybe I can grow that area fast rather than I'm worried about my weaknesses as well. So maybe organization is looking for business analysis with mortgage experience, but I don't have it. And even if I study about it, probably I will not be as good as someone who has a 3 years experience in the mortgage industry. Yeah. So I need to understand that these are the battles I may not be able to win. So I better don't try it there. But there are other type of things which I can do. So I, as an individual, will do research on various job vacancies which I see. I see what kind of skills are prominently asked. Then I look at my history, my strength and weaknesses, and based on that, so when I'm studying the job vacancies, I'm doing opportunity analysis. Yeah, what are the threats and opportunity analysis? I'm doing external analysis, and after that I do a internal strength and weakness analysis by looking at my profile, my experience, my aptitude, my interest, what I want to do it, and based on that I says this is what I want to target. Maybe this kind of job and this kind of skill set I want to upgrade further, and I will be attacking there.
Good, good.
Yeah, I know, not
So
a
like
straightforward thing,
from
but yeah,
from
depends.
let me just, what I understand from what you're saying, like in my experience, perhaps I've worked in a telecoms environment before, and before I moved, I'm now in the US. So before I moved to the US, I have experience in the telecoms for like 9 years, and I worked with different departments. So I worked with marketing, I worked with finance. So I can I can look at like different jobs, like if maybe if they're it could be dealing with customer maybe experience, maybe dealing with data migration, or okay, I get that. Um, Dealing with maybe finance systems, or okay, I
Perfect.
see.
You already started getting ideas, yeah?
Ideas, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I see. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Perfect.
joined the group. Thank you. This
Perfect.
would
Perfect.
help.
Great. Great.
And
Good.
I business what also can be for I've been listening to what others have been asking and also talking about. So for career progression, business analyst, what I mean, what after like working for 9 years as a business analyst, like w- what's career progression like? Should one just go for being a project manager,
Mhm.
scrum master?
So
I don't
usually
know what.
in my circle of known people as well as the people who have worked with me before, and when I was doing project management, I see business analysts getting into two areas over a period of time. Some move towards project management. Those are those individuals who usually work in a service based industry where they do a work for others. They are not, because of the nature of work, they are not too much deep into any of the domain, and they prefer to remain pluggable at various situations rather than get binded to a one particular domain alone. So many of
Yeah,
them move towards delivery and project management role with some amount of expertise of business analysis and experience, so that they can speak the customer language, and they show it as an advantage, but they move towards the project management space. That's a one direction. Another type of business analyst who are coming from product organization, who are coming from real knowledge of that area, yeah, because they have been working in particular thing and they feel that this thing also has a future. Yeah. So say I am working in a particular domain and I see this domain is still growing and I want to stick to that and I enjoy doing that. Yeah. So those people get deeper as a subject matter experts of that domain. Sometimes they may not remain more business analyst or a product guy. They may become a consultant or expert to various development teams. Yeah, as an expert of the compliance group or a financial sector space. Or they may get further deep into doing complex product, yeah, from a to B to C, that there are more complex product, and they may become a product ownership and product owner in the more complicated environment. So usually by
yeah,
default, I see the product business analyst, product owner companies go into domain expertise direction, and the service based organization where they work for others usually take more diversion towards project management direction. But again, there could be exception here and there, but this is my observation.
okay.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
good. Like some could go towards product management or project management.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. My
Great.
last question is, do we get a link to this recording?
Yes, yes, yes. So this will get put into the YouTube, and after the session gets over, we do share in our WhatsApp group. Yeah, so you get there, and then yeah, it's continued there. You can have a follow-up questions and conversation in a group, and you also get notified for future conversation there. Yeah.
Okay, so this is my first time, and how do I get your YouTube?
All
Do I
you
just
stay
search
in my WhatsApp group,
YouTube?
everything will come. Don't worry. Yeah. So you have joined the WhatsApp
Oh,
group. If I'm getting it right, if you have joined there, rest of the things will follow from there.
all
Yeah.
right.
Perfect.
Okay, all right then. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Interesting topic. Thanks for this.
Yeah. So thank you everyone. I think we reached to our time box. Yeah, we move, and please continue your conversation in the WhatsApp group. Any follow-up query, follow-up comment, it should not finish here. Yeah, it should continue. We do have a website link group also, that is also somewhere you will find in a WhatsApp group as you start collaborating there, and we'll probably meet again next week. Yeah. So bye for now. Thank you for your participation.
Yeah, thank you, Saket.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye.